Yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Foundry Virtual Tabletop version 12 from the ground up. And in our last episode, we kind of started, talking about how, I would go into this adventure, the adventure hooks and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of what feels natural to me to discuss. I know that's outside the scope of actually how to run Foundry, but I think I'm still going to kind of do that as we go, maybe just give tips or tricks that I might use. And I would love to hear back from you guys of any tips or tricks that you might use in story hooks, or how your way of DMing, or things that have happened. I'd love to hear any of that stuff. So feel free to comment about that. So we kind of talked about the main story hook is, Gundren Rock Seeker. We went to his smithy, and him and Sildar were going to Phandalin a day early to prep some stuff, and we were supposed to escort a wagon there. So basically, you have from Neverwinter all the way down to roughly about here where an actual encounter happens. I don't know if you can even see that. So let's zoom in. So roughly right around this area is where the first encounter happens that your players are going to experience in this. Other than maybe if you, as you're rolling down here, this is a great time to have your players, introduce their characters, reveal, little tidbits about their backstory, that kind of makes them intriguing and interesting, and maybe have, if it gets slow from there, go ahead and have maybe some random encounters, just some little things, like natural wildlife coming out and, being aggressive and stuff. But anyway, we'll just pretend all that's already happened, and we're going to get roughly right about here, and this is where the first encounter happens, roughly. So as the GM, what I would recommend doing is you can always right click on these and just say activate, and what that does will push it to your players and open it up and everything else. I like to usually just say view scene, and maybe why they're actually talking about stuff I'm going through here, and I'm actually adding their tokens. I'm making sure everything that's invisible is supposed to be invisible, like all our little goblins here. I believe there's 4 of them. That these horses, on these horses, for example, I usually set them because they're supposed to be dead. So I would say minus, 19 or something like that. Make them so that they have, if you look really close, that they're in an unconscious dead state, or even, come here just to make it even a little better. I mean, sometimes it'll draw the giant thing on there, but let's go ahead and do this guy. Maybe say minus 20, see if that does any better. Nope, just made him bloodied. So we'll come here and, just to make sure everything is good, because it's never good to actually hit a scene and realize that, things are not as you expected them to be. One other thing that might happen on the scene is if I bring my players on real quick, we have, let's just say they're kind of on the wagon. I actually have like a wagon that is a tile. I don't have it on the server, I don't think. But, have them, 2 people driving the wagon, the other 2 are kind of walking alongside. But one thing I also like to do here is actually see what their vision is and make sure that, if, for example, this person I placed there, and then now they're down here, you'll see that's all visible to them. So I like to place my players' tokens while they're, talking about their characters and stuff really quick, if I didn't get a chance to do this before, or just make sure that I really did it. But as you can see, now all the tokens, because they're all owned by the same thing, actually can see this giant, if this were another room and this was a wall, you wouldn't want them to see inside that room. So what I recommend doing is coming in here, and quickly clicking on the lighting controls, and then click on the cloud to reset the fog of war on the scene. And that will make it so now when they click on those characters, that they see only what their characters see when the scene was actually created. I mean, I might even put a wall here and here, which aren't part of it, just so you don't, just to keep the immersion of being on the road and not have some kind of weird border for the scene right there. So anyway, now that I've got this, what I would tell them, and if we come into the scene itself, I believe, and double click on this guy, it says, you've been on the Triboard Trail for about half a day. So as you can see, that's where was I going to go? Let's go close this real quick and we'll come back. So as you can see, that the main road they were on, or the main area the whole time, was the high road. Then they branch off, they go on the Triboard Trail, which is why the encounter we're having isn't here. It's roughly right here because it's before they get to Phandalin. And you'll understand in a minute why I put it here, because Cragmaw Hideout is actually this way. So let's go ahead. I forgot to do this. So now that I know I have my scene ready and it's set to view, right? What I like to do at this point is, and I wonder if I can do this. I'm gonna usually at this point, because I don't know how good people's connections are and stuff like that, I will go ahead and say I'm going to preload the scene, and they will all get this little bar saying that it's loading. It'll pop up on their screen, and when it says 100%, I know that this scene will pull up because it's already preloaded in the background, and it'll just come up now. So now that I've done that, then I can, go ahead and read them the description. Let's go back to the description again. So they've been on the Triboard Trail half a day and are nearing a side road leading south towards Phandalin. As you come around the bend, you stumble upon a scene of a recent battle. The woods press close to the trail here, with a steep embankment and dense thickets on either side. Two horses. Oh, actually, I always said they were dead. Here it doesn't say. I wonder if that's changed. If they changed it, because I'm pretty sure in the original Lost Mines of Phandelver, they're dead. Two horses wander the road, sniffing at ransacked personal effects. And then it gives you a little info here. It does say that when they approach, the horse's saddlebags have been looted. And you'll also see that when they do that approach, that 4 goblins hiding in the woods, 2 on either side of the road, wait until someone approaches the horse, then attack. And sometimes, this is telling you, make sure your tokens are hidden. It's giving you some quick little things. It's telling you really quick. So usually you'll have this whole thing read for yourself before you actually run it, because it's saying, if they're killed, if your players are killed, which could happen, they really bad rolls, that they just leave them unconscious. The goblins steal their stuff and run off. So now your players have a choice. When they come up, they can try and go without weapons and stuff to find the goblins, or they can go to Phandalin, re-gear up a little bit, and then come back and fight them, or they could just call it a loss. So, it's all their choice. So now that we've done that, we can actually come in here, and I don't think I did it right. Yes, we haven't done it yet. So we can come in and we can activate it, and this will actually open it up for all your players. And as you can see, the game paused. I probably use the game pause way too much, but because I'm usually limited, I only have like 2 screens or something like that, and I have a PDF, and when I'm looking at the PDF or other stuff, I can't have, especially in a dungeon, have people running around and searching stuff, so I probably pause it way more than people like, but that's just because of me. Hey, wait, why is there only 1 horse here? Did I make the other one invisible on accident? I did. There we go. So technically, I guess these horses are not dead in this case. I'm going to have to look that up, though, because I could have swore in the original they're dead. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll unmark them dead real quick. And it kind of makes sense that they're dead to me, just because the people that were riding them probably got shot and the horses took some damage and they've fallen dead, and you know, that's how they were raided and their saddlebags are looted and all that fun stuff. Alright, so let's go over to the player view. As you can see, 2 horses kind of wandering around or whatever. So obviously here is where you might either want to have it very loosely an initiative order, or you might want to just go ahead and have a full-on initiative order. Now, one nice thing about Foundry, and other VTTs might do it as well. So if we grab our guys, and I can't see, I don't know where they, oh, there, okay, I got everyone. I couldn't even see these guys. They're so well hid. You can always go put it in combat, just so that you have a turn order. And then if we go under the combat encounters, you can see that they're automatically hidden because they were hidden before. So your players aren't going to know what's actually there. Just say that, you know, I want to slow things down and go to, you know, real time or turn-based mode, and, you know, keep track of what's going on. Obviously, they know that there's going to be a battle because they just went down the entire high road and turned on the Tribord Trail and really didn't have anything big happen. So when you pull up a map and give a description like this, they know something's going to happen. So it's not going to be a surprise. So as you can see, if they go in, they can see only their players. So they don't actually see what's going to happen. And then go ahead and have them roll. Did I enable? Oh, I have. Did I enable? Oh no, this is normal. I did, okay. So we'll go ahead and just do this. I might have to go turn off the panning because I don't like that very much. So there's our initiatives for our players. I don't remember where the panning thing, I thought that was just when they talk. Let's go look in settings real quick. Configure dice, disable, pan to speaker. It might be that. Maybe when they roll, it's consider they're speaking. I don't know, we'll find out. So now at this point, you can actually, you know, as the GM, I will usually hit begin combat just so that it actually still forces them to go in turn. So there is a module I really like called Not Your Turn, because technically, actually maybe with version 12 it's changed. Let's check. So I've said begin combat. Let's see if Kirla, for example, can move out of turn. So which one's Kirla? I don't even know. Or Tazaraz here. Let's see if Tazaraz... No, okay. Oh, it's paused actually. That's not it. So unpause it. And yeah, see, so it's not even their turn and they're moving. So there is a module that I like that's called Not Your Turn, that when you go in to combat, it actually enforces only the person whose active turn it is can move. In other words, they'll say, not your turn. And you can actually set that so it's also when they're out of combat, but then it kind of gets really, really slow. All right, so we have, I haven't got any names from you guys, so in this case, we're going to say that Kirla and Tazras was, you know, driving the wagon. If you imagine this is the wagon, they're in the driver's seat here. So E020, or Iku, whatever, he is going to proceed with caution up to the thing. Now, another module that is really, really nice to have is called Drag Ruler. And what that does is, as you move, it actually shows you how far you can go with it being just called a move. We're not going to enable it right now, but as the player, I can click on Iku. and click C to pull up his character sheet. And you can see down in here that their walking speed is 30. So I can know that he can go 30. Some things to take into mind here is some GMs say that diagonals are always 10. There's various rules where whether you're going diagonal or not, it's 5. You know, it's 5 in any direction, or because technically what they're imagining you're doing is 5 and 10, so that's 10. There's other rules that says the first time you go, that's a 5 foot. Second time you go, that's a 10 foot. And then it goes back to 5 foot, 10 foot, so on and so forth. So, you know, you can ask your GM how they actually do it. I usually do the 5 foot, 10 foot one. So if he can move 30 feet, that would be 5 foot. There's 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Now, depending on if he's trying to be quiet or something like this, this might be a point where I want to add in my goblins. And, you know, if they were trying to be sneaky, then you compare the passive perception versus, you know, the player's sneak. But in this case, he's a full armor. He's going to be making sound. So my goblins probably would see. Now here is a spot where you could actually roll all 4 goblins. Your players are then going to see these dice rolls and know that they've got four enemies. The other thing you can do is, you know, and it's not necessarily going to put them in the right order. Because well, I mean, you could say it's a surprise attack or whatever. So we're just going to do that just for quickness. We're going to click on all 4, and it's still panning to him, dang it. Did I not hit save? Let's go double check and see if I hit save. So even though I've rolled their initiative, you'll notice here in the player's view, they do see the dice rolls and see that a couple of them are pretty high, a couple of them are low, but they don't actually see where they fall in the initiative order. I mean, they can obviously look here and go, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's further than me, because, you know, I rolled it. The 10 is the highest initiative roll, so they can be, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're higher than me. So at this point, you know, you can go ahead and reset. Let's see, we could go back like that and reset the table and say, you know, these goblins get to go first. This is one case where you might actually have a party wipe. If all your goblins get to go first and they get really good rolls, say crit and everyone, they'll be able to wipe out your entire party without an issue. Whereas if, you know, they're spread out kind of like this is another thing that GMs might do, is they have all their mobs under one initiative. With a VTT kind of like this, it's not as big a deal because you can just quickly tell it, yep, you know, roll. However, when you're got a bunch of mobs or something like that and a bunch of people, sometimes just so the game flows, I like to have them all individually roll so it spreads out, so that I'm not taking, you know, the first 10 minutes of combat because one guy rolled high, so everybody gets to do their attacks. I think there's more potential of wiping out your party than if each of them have their own initiative. So in this case, we've given them all their own initiative, and let's say this guy up here wants to shoot a bow, right? So what I can do is, as this guy, I first say, okay, so we're going to stop right there because this triggered these guys who were basically watching. And who is this guy? Boom, boom. So we're going to start with this guy, I guess right here. He has a bow. He's going to target E020. So I'm going to select him, and then I'm going to mouse over my target, and I'm going to hit T, and you'll get these little arrows. Now, on the player side, they will see that they're now being targeted. They get this tiny little dot saying I'm being targeted. Because my goblin's in hiding, I'm not going to actually show them where it is, but I will tell them that an arrow came from the brush to the south, right? However, there is one issue with this, is that I believe that actually I think it's this edge they can't actually go through, but here I think they can. I'll have to double check that. It's not his turn, so actually I guess I could still do it because I don't have that mod. Yeah, see, I can't actually go further than that because there's basically a window wall right around the edge. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. So I tell Iku that he is walking towards the horses. As he gets close, he hears some rustling in the bushes to the north. The south. I keep thinking about that gap there. And we'll see if he actually gets hit. Now, another module that we'll be going over that I really like for this part is called Token Action HUD, which gives you a quick rundown of everything your token can do. It has their inventory, has all their actions they can do. It has skill checks, it has saves, it has death saves, it has everything. Not going to use it here, just so you can get an idea of what a regular game with no modules, other than Dice So Nice, because I really like that one, and it doesn't change our actual gameplay at all, other than gives us a graphic. Now I totally lost track of what I was saying. All right, so anyway, I tell Iku here that he hears rustling, and then I'm going to double click on my Goblin here, and I'm going to say he shoots his short bow by clicking on the short bow itself. One other thing you can do to kind of keep track of things, this is going to be really squishy because I'm doing this at 720 for you guys, is I can right click on this and have the combat tracker pop out. That way I can kind of move it, and I can actually have this open at the same time, which is what I usually do. I usually have my chat window and the combat tracker separate so that I can see who's next and what's going on. So anyway, in this case, the Goblin here is going to go ahead and fire an arrow, and the way he does that is clicks the bow there, which pulls up the configure roll. This is where you can say he has advantage because it's sneak attack. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to kill my party. A normal or disadvantage, they can do that all right here. You can set, what type of attack mode it is. In this case, it's just a two-handed because the bow's two-handed, but maybe you have a one-hand, two-handed sword, and it's saying, well, what one are you doing? Then we also can say what type of roll it is. In this case, we will say it's just a public roll, doesn't matter. And if there are any bonuses. So, for example, because it's a surprise, maybe I would give him an additional +1 or something like that. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to kill him. So anyway, we're going to hit roll. You'll see it will roll. And I'm pretty sure that's going to hit. So now what I can tell Iku, please send me names for these guys so I don't have to use these generator ones. I can tell him that he is hit, and he has this open too, that a Goblin, well, he doesn't know that necessarily, but an arrow comes flying out of the brush somewhere to the south, hits him, and then I can tell him that it is going to do, what am I doing here? Go back here. And now I can actually roll the damage on this. It's so squishy in here. So you can see there's the hit. I thought it usually showed damage as well. Huh. So definitely hit him. If I click on this, no. Wait. This is being weird all of a sudden. Usually if you click this, it doesn't. Oh, there we go. I'm going to re-roll it because did I miss something? Because usually it says attack and damage like that. So if I click the bow, oh, I know what I did. This is actually really weird because it doesn't normally do this. Normally you can actually click on the short bow word and it will drop down and give you more of a description. And then you can actually click on these two and it will actually do those individual. But for some reason now when I click on this, it actually says configure role. And also does that. That's really weird. I'm going to have to look at that. So let's go ahead. Here's our attack now. We can go ahead and do our roll. Hopefully it still hits. Still hits. So I think what I didn't do is I didn't scroll back up. Oh, I forgot. There's another module I like called module resizer that lets you, or window resizer that lets you actually resize these windows. So I guess I shrunk this apparently. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead back into combat there. All right, so we do know he gets hit, and he should see that as well. Let's go back over here. So he can go look in here. His AC is 14, a 17 definitely hits. So yeah, he's gonna know he was hit just from the number there. And then if we come back in here, now I can say damage. And there's no bonuses or anything. It's just going to be a d6 plus his dexterity modifier, which is +2. Go ahead and do a normal. And you can see 3, 4, 5. Now, as the GM, I can go apply that damage to him by simply clicking on him now. If I leave this guy selected and do it, unless they've changed something, I can double check. But if I say, you know, do that damage, let's just say do the damage. So I'm going to do damage and apply. I think I'm way too dependent on mods. So he's going to take, is that -1? This is full damage, I think. Oh yeah, okay. I was doing it wrong, sorry. This is going to heal. So this is going to be a full heal because it's -1. They changed their icons. This is going to be the damage. But what I wanted to check, because it used to be that if I forget to select him, it would not give him damage. What I want to check and see is if, because this is actually saying I know it's E020, I mean, if it still will damage mine. So I'm going to say do regular damage, or of course there's double damage, half damage, fourth damage, 0, no damage. We're going to hit apply. Actually it did. I'm impressed. But like I was saying, one thing I like to do, I'm going to go ahead and heal him back up. I like to allow my players to do the damage to themselves. I think they enjoy that. So as a player, they don't have access to that damage thing. They can just see that 5 damage was given. And what they can do is then right click, come here and do -5. And they can damage themselves. Now, you'll also notice, this was one of the things that when we were doing the simple role-playing, or simple world builder, is that what it was called? That I was saying, oh yeah, and the token ring flashes and stuff. Here you'll notice that it actually does. It has the little thing pop up saying that, you know, 5 damage was given, and the token ring will actually flash. So I'm going to do it again. We'll give him back his health after this, but we're just going to do this real quick. So -5. If you watch the token ring, you'll see it flashes 5. Why did it say died? He's not dead. It says he's bleeding, or bloodied. So now if I do the opposite, if I heal him, you'll actually see it flashes green. I did minus, didn't I? I'm batting 100 right now. All right, so let's say minus. He was at 9, so we need to put him back at 9. So now you can see that he's not bloodied anymore, and he has got it flashed green. Hopefully you noticed that. I'm pretty sure that was his health is 14. Yeah. All right. So that is kind of a quick rundown. I mean, we're at 30 minutes, so I don't want to go much longer, but we will continue this battle as in the next episode. So the next thing I would do for this goblin is go ahead and have him roll a stealth. So if we come up here, and is this his spells inventory? Usually, oh, there it is right there. I can just say he's going to roll stealth. Maybe I'll give him advantage because he's already hidden. He's behind bushes and stuff, whatever, you know. I'm going to go ahead and give him advantage. You'll see that there's a 5 and a 12. Obviously, it's that. So, and now E020, or Iku, I can't ever say his name, will have the choice of seeing if they can see that. Now, one thing to note with this stealth, hopefully, yeah, see, he's totally able to see that. So that would be something I would hide the check so that he doesn't know. I can ask him what his passive perception is, which is, where do they hide the passive perception now? I thought it was just right here. Dark vision. Well, passive perception is going to be their wisdom plus, I believe it's 10. So 12, definitely under 18. Passive perception is not going to pick it up. But he could maybe on his turn, he could do an actual perception check, which is also plus 2. But then he actually gets to roll. So passive perception wise, he's actually facing, another module I like is one that's called auto rotate, I think. Rotate your token depending on the way you actually have to move. So he now knows that there is some kind of enemy somewhere to the south. These guys probably saw an arrow come from the bush, so they might have an idea. But there you go. Now, as I was saying, this could be definitely bad for the party because this goblin got technically, I guess he'd even get sneak attack because I think goblins get that. So it could be really bad for the party. Let's just double check. Does he get sneak attack? Is it under features here? Do we have a features one? Maybe they don't. Which is really good because it's not a goblin rogue or something like that. All right, so I think I'm going to end it here. I know it was kind of scatterbrained. We had some little oddities popping up. But, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There's their passive perception. How come I can't find his? Hold on, is it in here? It's probably, well, no, it would be on here. I don't know. It's got to be in here somewhere, but details is where we were. I think I'm just missing it. It's got to be somewhere on here, and I'm just totally missing it. Initiative, walk speed, proficiency. That just hides that stuff. I think it would be under senses. If I go under here, under senses, there, resistances. Concentration. I don't know. You can tell me, am I being completely blind and just missing it? And you guys are like banging your head on your keyboard saying, oh my gosh, it's right there. But anyway, we're going to end it here. In the next episode, we will continue the battle and the this ambush that's going on. Let me know if after this, you go actually to another map that has different rooms. It's the Kregma hideout. If you want, we can actually kind of continue it there because there's more of a story and a purpose of things to do. And also you get to see more of how the lighting and stuff like that works. So let me know what you guys think. I really appreciate you watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Join my Discord channel. Great place for you to, leave me bigger messages and stuff, and usually I answer a lot quicker. But comments in the video are great as well. Tell other people about my channel. I'm checking out, like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. Everybody wins. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.